Should I let my puppy on the sofa? I've seen an awful lot of videos of people with new puppies, with puppies throwing themselves on the sofa, and it's just like chaos. It does feed into a very, very, very common issue, but also it is one of the absolute foundations of life. And I wanted to explain how it might then show up in other areas. Dogs don't belong on a sofa. My dogs can go up on a sofa whenever they like. Here's the question. Who here allows the dog on the sofa? Hands up. I do. Be like, oh, you don't let the dog on the sofa, do you? I've been watching a few puppies on some of the social media channels, and I'm always quite fascinated to see how they're getting on. And I'm looking at this, what is potential mayhem just on the horizon. So I can see where it's all leading, and it's like day one with my new puppy. We're not going to let the dog on the chair, but my boyfriend has now let her up on the sofa. So very cute, and she went to sleep, and I think, oh, that's great. Then 2, 3, 4 days go by, and I'll just let them up on the sofa again. Now they're big enough to climb up on the sofa, and they actually don't have any boundaries, and they're like, I'm going on the sofa. And now they're having puppy zoomies, and it's like wall of death around the sofa. You know, it's like just chaos. And next thing, they're jumping up on the bed because, well, the bed's a sofa in their eyes. Next thing, they're jumping up on the beds, they're jumping up on the sofas. It's just all getting out of hand. Like, oh my goodness, this puppy is out of control. So let's take the puppy scenario for a moment, where we let them up initially because, well, they're dead cute, and we're like, they're only like that big. We let them up and we think, oh, it's great. And then they're like, oh, I think I can just reach the cushions, and we're like, oh, let's help them up a bit. And next thing, they're coming up, and then the next thing, they come in running in, puppy zoomies, and then they like throw themselves at the couch because it's like, I want up on the couch. And within not really that big a space of time, they're able to get up there. It doesn't take long before they're actually able to make it up onto a sofa themselves. What we're doing when we've got a new dog is we're shaping their day every day, and we're saying that this is part of what we do, and I'm bringing you up on the sofa, and they don't see anything wrong with it. When it starts to get puppy zoomies and they're just running around, and then the next thing, they throw themselves up on there, and we're like, oh no. Just know that it's not them that's actually doing anything wrong. We've basically said to them that that's okay for the last couple of weeks, maybe even a few weeks, and that all of a sudden it's like, oh, here is how it can then overlap into other parts of life. So I mentioned there, they might just throw themselves up on the bed, for example, if they're allowed up in the bedrooms, or if you've got downstairs bedrooms. Next thing, they run into the room, they're like, oh, that's a sofa, because they don't know it's a bed. It's a sofa. It's just another sofa. It's another comfy raised thing that's very, very comfortable, and it's warm, and it's cozy, and it's super comfy. And it's like just another sofa. And the next thing, they're running around your bed, and you're like, no, you can't go on there. You can go on there, but you can't go on there. And they're like, it's the same thing. Because to them it is. It all revolves around something I call giving them permission, a permission cue. And really, basically, it does overspill. If they just come up of their own accord, if they're allowed onto things, we're basically saying, you don't need permission. You just do what you like. And then let's see something else that they perhaps love or grow to love as they get a little bit older, and they're like, oh, there's a biscuit on a plate, and it's just at nose height. I'll just take it, because I just go on the sofa and I'll just take what I like. And then the next thing, they're walking down the street, or you're walking at the park, and there's your best friend or their best friend, and they're like, oh, I just want to go and say hello to them. I'm just going to go and do it because that's what I want to do. And all of a sudden, all these things start to get a little bit out of hand, because it's all revolves around permission. So it's a really, really simple start point of how you can see very quickly how things could, if you don't know and you can't see where it's all going and how it applies to real life in other scenarios, that actually it is all the same thing. And, you know, you then get dogs that, like, we call it counter surfing, but essentially putting their paws on worktops and maybe taking a bit of food, or paws on a table, searching about for food, and I'll just take that. It's a problem. It can be a real problem, and it's a really annoying problem. So this is it. So this is what I really want to sort of highlight, really, for everyone. If this is new to you, this is really kind of really important piece of the dog training puzzle, centered around permission. So for example, let's take the puppy scenario, and this is what I do with mine, is if I am going to let them up as really young puppies, I'll lift them up. I don't let them just jump up. So I'll go over and lift them, and I'll see if they want to sit up with me, and I'll have a little cuddle and whatever. So that's how it starts. So I don't start it off with them sort of like trying and me helping them up, and I'll pick them up so they're not instigating it. And then in the meantime, what I'm working on in the sidelines, if you like, is I'll be playing little bed games with them. A lot of us do that. Probably 100% of the people here now I already do that, and I've done that and understand that. But again, if it's new to you, bed games, boundary games, crate games, whatever you want to call them, teaching them the value of going onto the bed. And we put a lot of value into that, right? And that's happening in the sidelines all the time. Moving on from just like lifting a little tiny puppy on and allowing them on, I then am in the sidelines teaching them a little basics of permission, the kind of first ideas of what permission is. And I do that by teaching them a little kind of release cue, either to get a toy to say, okay, we can play, or a release cue off their bed saying, okay, you can get off your bed. Or we play a little choice game. It's your choice game with some food or a toy. Have it in my hand and they can have it. Or if they show some self-control, I say, okay, you can get it. And I'm basically saying, giving them a cue. For me, it's okay. For other people who use different words, but for me, it's okay. And I'm basically saying, okay, it's the toy. Okay, you can get the toy. If it's the bit of food, okay, you can get the bit of food. If it's the sofa, okay, you can come up on the sofa. Get me? So now I'm starting to say you can only come up when I say it's okay to come up. So always on permission. Mine have always got on the sofa, but next year I'd like a new sofa. And with 6 dogs, I'm trying to keep them off. So I've just got a new sofa in the last 5 months, something like that. So we've had a little transition to highlight the transition from an older sofa to a new sofa. This is what we have done. Basically, they didn't get up. They used to get to about 9 o'clock at night and they'd start like thinking, right, are we getting up now? And it's like that time of night. And it was getting to that time of night. We're like, no, you're not getting up. Nope, they're not getting up. And what I did was I got some nice throws for the new sofa. They're not on the sofa all the time. What I'll do is every now and again, I'll put a throw on the sofa, and they've started to understand when that goes on the sofa, they might get permission to come up. They don't always get permission to come up, because what I was noticing was when they realized it was going on the sofa and they were like, oh, that's the cue for us to go on the sofa. No, you still have to wait for permission. So the permission cue is really a powerful thing in loads of aspects of life. For some people who don't ever want the dogs on a sofa, this is what you need to do, is build value for where you do want them to go. So if you've got a bed space in, say, the living room or the kitchen or in the room that you're all sitting, whatever that setup happens to be, is have an area where they can lie, something they can lie on. It could be just a bit of fleecy matting. It's totally up to you. It doesn't really matter, but teaching them to go on and off that, and also teaching them when they're on it and they choose to go on it, we put in a lot of value by actually delivering rewards to that. So actually they then start to choose that area and they understand, this is my little place. that's not my little place. So that's for those of you that do not want any dogs on the sofa. So Louise is saying, my first rescue German Shepherd was allowed on the sofa, but showed teeth trying to get him off the sofa. The first ever dog, he was destructive and had no boundaries. If you have a situation where you don't have permission built into your foundations in general, that's where you can get problems like that. You get a situation where you have a dog, and it doesn't have to be a German Shepherd. It could be a cockapoo. It could be a Labradoodle. It doesn't matter. If they've learned, actually, I think I'll tell you what to do, I don't think it's the other way around, then that's when you can get problems. And that's why I always say there's a couple of things. You can get destructive behavior, you can get dominant behavior like that, and you can get chaotic behavior where it's just all completely out of hand. When you build in permission into your foundations for everything, and without exception, you probably wouldn't get that. With an older dog, I would leave that to be very much further down the line, and we'll see. It would be we'll see whether that's going to be appropriate or not. If that was a rescue German Shepherd, like that situation years ago, that's where I'm saying, with an older dog, you don't really know what you've got for a good while. And I'm going to observe that dog over a much longer period, probably even up to as much as, 6 months to a year before I actually think, you know what, I might think about, and I'm not even saying that, yes, I'm going to change the rules to actually allow something. I'm observing, and I'll decide way further down the line. So I think you can open up the door to all sorts of problems unnecessarily. Can you believe it? Elvis stole the bananas off the table last week. Was shocked, never done it before. It's a challenge. He's a young dog, and he's getting to that stage where what is he now? Probably closer to 18 months. He's pushing the boundaries. He's like, I'm just going to do what I like. And you just sometimes have to re-establish the boundaries with them. There's no doubt about that. And it's ongoing. That's why I say to you on Foundations for Life to keep revisiting things, because as puppies develop, they definitely present another challenge, because they start to think, I know it all now. Can't tell me anything. I know it all. And actually they don't, and they still need to know where the boundaries are with certain things. If someone comes to me and says, can't get my dog to come back, or my dog takes things off the table or something like that, and I'll immediately think, are there other things they just take out and there's no boundaries? Well, they do jump up on the sofa, yeah. Yep, and also they do X, Y, and Z. Yeah, there'll be a number of other things. And actually what we can do is then identify probably the one big thing that is the theme running through all the annoying behaviors. Many of them are overlooked because they're not as bad as one of them. And one of them is like, that's the one I want to fix. But actually, it's quite a few other things. They're just not a priority over perhaps one thing that you fixed on. But actually, if you can work on that one kind of piece of the puzzle, actually will fix a lot of other things. So ultimately, I'm saying you decide, your dog's your rules, but know that if you don't have permissions in place, sometimes that can seep into other areas of life. It's a great example to use it around dogs on the sofa, but really I wanted to use an important question as well, but to really highlight how something as simple as that actually is replicated in lots of other areas of life. And that's why when we teach really great foundations, we're talking about, rather than teach them 101 different behaviors, this is just like a fundamental permission cue, and it's replicated in loads and loads of different areas of life. And it cuts down the amount of time you actually have to spend on training your dog. If you'd like to find out a bit more about game-based dog training, what makes it different, how it can really work for you, then I have a free web class which explains how game-based dog training really works. All you have to do is click the link in the description below and register for the web class. It's totally free. And if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. That helps more people see it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss another video. And I'll see you in the next video.